let's talk about that fight, because that fight to me was very important.
Yeah.
Because he was the only guy that ever really legit beat Peter Yan. And there was a lot of praise and a lot of hype around him. I was one of the guys giving him a ton of hype, and you were hating on me for it, you know. And I honestly believed that he was going to be one of those guys that just outworked you, because I had never really seen like someone push you to the point where your speed and your athleticism didn't get you out of trouble.
Yep.
Or with him, he was having difficulties dealing with your speed and athleticism, whereas I would have thought it had been the other way around. Talk to me about how the training went for that fight, and tell everyone exactly how the training went for that fight and what preparations and stuff that you had to deal with for that fight.
So the training for that fight was, my training camp was kind of crazy, for that camp, because I had sold my house and I was like moving. And so we were in like Omaha. I was in Omaha probably during like the off season of the camp. And then when the camp started, actually, because we were supposed to fight and then it got moved like 4 weeks or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I had came down when we found out about the fight. I think it was like 5 weeks or so. I was going down to I had planned on going down to Raufeon Stots, because I was in Omaha just for like a month or so, like pretty much looking for a house in Texas to buy, but we were doing it like online. And then my wife's family is from Omaha, so we was like spending time in Omaha with them. But yeah, so then I had went down, and then like while I was driving down, Brian had called me and was like, yeah, so they moved the fight back 4 weeks or whatever. So like while I was driving, which is like I think like a 8-hour drive or whatever to Wisconsin, while I was driving down, they told me it was gonna be 4 weeks later. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just drive back, because I don't need to spend I don't need 8 weeks to train. Usually I'm in shape and I'm training every day. I just need like finite details. 4 weeks I'm usually good, but anyways, so the training for that was like really it was like really good for me, because it was the first time I had trained away from my family. So it was like a little bit of added motivation. So, and also I just had more time to rest and train, just because I didn't have the kids, pretty much to like look after. Cause, usually I'm like with the kids, or with my, kid pretty much, throughout the day, until I go to practice. And so then, so I trained a lot. And then also, I work with, Lovato, which I feel like really changed my grappling, like how I looked at grappling, because of his top control and things like that, So, and his his ability to create space and stuff like that with grappling. It kind of changed, because I had more of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I had a lot of concepts from the Carson Gracie system. I had a bunch of concepts from bottom, but on top, I was pretty much, before I was like waiting until I was just waiting until people made mistakes. And what I feel like Lovato, his system is more kind of suited toward wrestlers. So that helped me out. And I mean my wrestling defense and striking has always kind of like been there, just with Duke. And then also it's not like just like a striking system. It's like the concepts, which I feel like for me is more important than like the techniques. And that's why I like Gerald Mearshart too, for his grappling. It's like concepts of just like a simple thing, like if I punch straight, it's gonna be faster. It's gonna be there more quickly than if I circle. Things like that. Like rules or whatever. And so I have a lot of rules in wrestling that I know to be true. So like the striking and like putting them together, like the rules, like help me put together like a good, game plan for Magomed, because I knew he needs to be, I know what he needs. He needs his hands locked. He needs his hands locked around me. So if I can strike in a fashion and grapple in a fashion that makes it very hard for him to do that, I felt like it was going to be a good night for me. And that's pretty much anybody I fight. I mean, my game plan is pretty much to make you as uncomfortable for as long as I can throughout the fight. you know. So like if you're a good striker, I'm gonna make you uncomfortable by most likely wrestling you or different types of striking to get you know what I mean. I'm just playing rock paper scissors out there with whoever I'm fighting. So yeah, so that was kind of my game plan. And then also like when I train too, I train for like worst case scenario, you know. Worst case scenario, I have no athleticism. I have no I guess stamina and things like that. So I'm like in my head like that's when like the stuff is real. And when the stuff is real is like when I like want to be the strongest, like in my mind, you know what I mean? So like when I'm like when I'm the most tired, that's when I'm like picturing somebody, even if I'm shadow boxing or if I'm fighting somebody, I'm picturing somebody they're at their peak and I'm tired coming at me, you know what I mean? And and I'm gonna have to deal with that because I feel like most people when they train for the good, you know, they train for like when everything is hunky dory, you know, everything is going according to plan and stuff. And you know, I want to be a beast, you know, when I'm feeling like a bitch, you know what I mean? So
okay, so with the Magomed fight, like, you controlled the position, you controlled every aspect of that fight. So everything that he was doing, he just wasn't able to ever get in deep enough on the takedown. But then you look at somebody like who's a little bit longer, probably a little bit not as good a wrestler, but is very dangerous all the way, and someone like Apache Mix.
Yeah.
Because if he does get to your legs at all, or he does get to your body or press you to the fence, that's another animal you have to deal with. And you guys are right there in the same category of 2 and 3 or 2 and 4, somewhere in there. So that's a big, strong possibility with your wrestling and his style of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
that they may try to match you guys up first.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that matchup too. I'll be his skinny fat self too because I mean his box pretty much Patchy Mix just look mean. He don't really want to do nothing on his feet. He want to look mean. And I'm going to just punch him in the mouth a lot of times.
I don't know. You called him and Archuleta. You found him in an elevator and you put out a great.
That's the other thing. I've been trying to fight these guys, I feel like, for a while. But I understand, you know, everybody's chasing the belt, you know, and nobody, before the tournament, like nobody really, even now, like nobody really got a reason to risk everything they have to fight me. I mean, that's been my kind of story, like since I got to MMA, you know, even like before like the UFC, when they were telling me that I was next in line, you know, I was next in line, they were giving the people that had fights options. And like, I'm never going to be the first option anybody's gonna like it. You don't see a clear way of beating me because I'm good everywhere, you know? So it's not like, oh, okay, this is what we got to do. Easy. This is what we got to do to beat this guy.
100% agree.